and welcome to our 4th annual Hall of Fame banquet for Oscar A. Carlson High School. First off, what a wonderful celebration in the life of our school, and what a wonderful celebration in the life of our school district. I'm Bill Stevenson, current principal of Carlson High School, and I'm very proud to be part of this historic event. I am very sorry to disappoint you and need to tell you this now, but I need to remind everybody that this is not a roast, but more of a Marauder love fest, as you will soon see. Although I have been told that they are organizing the Hall of Shame Weenie Roast, which is scheduled for April Fool's Day at Mercure Park. So nominations are still open for that. Make sure you get them in by April 1st. Before I introduce our 2015, which is also very hard to believe, Hall of Fame class, I have some very special guests to recognize this evening. Superintendent Bruce Berger and Assistant Superintendent for School Improvement, Amy Conway. Our new Financial Manager, Thomas Harrell. Members of the Board of Education that are with us this evening, Lisa Darville, Bob Kaczynski, Chris Theodorovich, and Marcia Cosmore. Our Assistant Principal, Ron Jacob, and AD Mike Quinn. Current Hall of Fame members who are with us this evening, and I think Judge Jennifer Coleman Hessen is tied up in court, but Mr. Scott Dennison, Middle School Assistant Principal Tracy Richardson, Chris Bowler is still in traffic, Mr. Greg Wiseman, Tammy Christensen, former Chief of Police Ray Canterbury, Beth Wilson and Barb Lefevre here for John Lefevre posthumously. And so let's give them all a big round. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee, many of the members who are here this evening, who helped to make this very difficult selection from some outstanding Marauder alums. Again, and I can just read their names. Mike Peyote, Patrick Rice, Ryan and Sherry Donaldson, Todd Skopczynski. Turn your cell phones off. Okay, here. Worse than the kids. Brenda Greer, Cliff Menser, Mike Quinn, Bill Zachary, and myself. So let's give the Hall of Fame members. Special thanks to the driving force behind the Hall of Fame and the master of Marauder pride, illustrious alumni, librarian Mike Peyote. I also want to thank Patrick Morrow and our video production crew who are filming this, Dave Herndon from the News Herald, and any other media events and specialists that are here this evening. At this time, I'd like to introduce the 2015 Hall of Fame inductees. And you all need to know this. Anytime that we are doing any kind of special event like this, we always check the ebb tide yearbook. And we all know historically that if you're going to be a multimillionaire or mass murderer, they always go back to the yearbook. So, yeah, so you're safe, Mr. Baker. All right. From the class of 1979, Mr. David Albright. We may gain some insight into his personality, and we've met him before, when he was pictured in the yearbook with this caption in the 1979 yearbook. It says, quote, "Seniors Dave Albright and Leanne Parlett should be watching the JV basketball game instead of telling jokes." Although on page 73 there was a very serious picture of Dave as he is pictured as the Vice President of the National Honor Society. Dave is also a member of the 1977 state champion baseball team. So Mr. David Albright. Our next inductee this evening is already a National Junior College Hall of Famer, Mr. Mick Kaba, class of 1968. And as we're looking through the yearbook, the Ed Tide in 1968, the headline read, "Students engage in many activities." Obviously, he did not win the journalistic award for creative writing. And Mike Clementi commented, "Oh, that was BS," and it's not what he thought. He says it was before straws. Anyway, Mick Caba is pictured in a co-ed varsity club GAA volleyball game. And many of you, somebody want to explain what GAA was? GAA, go ahead.
Girls Athletic Association.
Girls Athletic Association, because you had a little separate little group back in the day, and I had a GAA in my school too, because, you know, any rigorous activity for girls, you know, sports, you know, you couldn't do that. But anyway, the caption in the yearbook in '68 said, "Mick Caba stretches muscles to gain control of the ball." I think, looking at his career, certainly something he perfected as one of the winningest coaches in Kentucky history in football. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. George Gay from the class of 1970. I'm not quite sure, as I'm looking through this 1970 yearbook, you know, if there was a change in the advisor or something, but it was very difficult even to find seniors with their name. So if you look at the yearbook, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I did find this great quote. According to the newspapers, probably the News Herald, the Marauders were only going to win one game. Now, I'm not saying history repeats, but the spirit of the young Marauder team had led them to 4 victories and a tie, and then there's a comma, plus 4 losses. The big game of the year was with Brazil, and I understand that one. It ended in a tie, and now watch this editorial, which should have been a Marauder victory. It's consistent with our spirit here, as we know. Here's the quote. Mike Isaac and George Gay showed great leadership in their role as team captains. George, you know, nothing about George going on to West Point and a distinguished career in military and business. But again, congratulations to George Gay. Next, we have former Carlson High School teacher, counselor, and administrator Huntley Robinson, who retired in 2000. Thousands of lives that he touched throughout his career. I do know, and I had the pleasure of working with Huntley in the years prior to his retirement, although this I did not know, that he had always, and Kelly Walters, now the director of guidance after he retired, told me this story, that for years, Huntley Robinson wanted to throw a bowling ball down the hall, the main hall, and as it goes down that ramp into the memorial building or by the cafeteria. So, unbeknownst to me on his last day, no, I'm joking, okay, that he did so. So he and his cohorts, okay, had a bowling ball, and Huntley was able on his last day to go out, and I hope he made a strike, okay? But anyway, I do know also that Huntley has been, in his retirement, has been up in Gaylord in the great north here of Michigan, and I understand he's working on a memoir based on his life as a counselor that's titled, and again, beg my pardon for the title, "You Can't Make This Shit Up." You know, last but not least, from the class of 2001, Miss Christina Wilson. 10 years that she coached in the Gibraltar School District competitive cheer. 7 years she was the varsity cheer coach. 4 of the 5 teams in the 7 years, or in 4 of the 7 teams won the state championship. 4 out of the 5, or the 5th one was the runner-up. And had we not suspended 2 girls, they would have had 5 in a row. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the mock elections that year, quote, Chuck Kellogg and Christina Wilson, best dancer. Also, Also, Christina Wilson, most spirited. So is there any wonder why she's such an outstanding coach? The caption in the picture in the yearbook in 2001 read, competing at the cable competition. And that's not what you're thinking, okay, like they're climbing poles. But competing at the cable competition, Sabrina Winrow, Annette Ketcher, and Christina Wilson execute moves practiced many times, for sure. That's one of the reasons why she's such a great coach. So let's end teacher. As an historian by trade, in my previous life, my continued life, when I look at Carlson High School today and I look at this Hall of Fame class of 2015, I know we stand on the shoulders of giants. To the members who are being inducted tonight, you have paved the way for those who have come after you. We want to congratulate you on your great honor. We are so very proud of you and are happy to honor you tonight. We really know that you know how to show your Marauder pride. And as Mike Quinn would say, let's see.